All right, welcome to the February 5th, 2025 meeting of the University of Rhode Island Board of Trustees, Academic Affairs and Research Committee. Meetings being held in person with committee members participating remotely. At this time, I'll conduct a roll call attendance to determine if a quorum is present. Please clearly respond present via WebEx or present in person when your name is called. Neil Kerwin, present via WebEx. Charles Fogarty.
Present by WebEx.
Maria Ducharme. Monica Garnes.
Present via WebEx.
David Martirano.
Present via WebEx.
Okay, David. Joseph Matthews.
Present via WebEx.
Okay. Christine Bovey.
Present via WebEx.
And Mark Parlange.
Present via WebEx.
Right. Quorum is present. I can call the meeting to order. A reminder to all our members, for the benefit of our audience and the note taker, please clearly identify yourself whenever you comment, make a motion, or second to a motion. Participants using WebEx are required to keep their cameras on as remote members so that all persons present at the meeting are clearly audible and visible to each other. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge that the University of Rhode Island occupies the traditional stomping grounds of the Narragansett Nation and the Niantic people. Now, are there any proposed amendments to the public agenda or published agenda? All right, hearing none. Our first order of business then is approval of the minutes. May I have a motion that the committee approve the minutes of the October 22nd, 2024 meeting?
Charlie Fogarty, so moved.
Thank you, Charlie. Do I have a second?
Monica Garnes, second.
Thank you. Any discussion of the motion? Hearing no discussion, I'll ask for a voice vote. All in favor, please say yes.
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 Yes. All opposed, please say no. Any abstentions? The motion is approved. I'd like to also acknowledge the presence of the Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees, Armand Sabatoni, is joining us this afternoon. Welcome, Armand.
Thank you.
We'll now move to reports. I'm sorry?
Margot Cook has joined as well.
Oh, Margot. Okay. Thank you. I haven't
Thank
got
you.
everybody on screen. Margot, welcome.
Thanks, Neil.
All right. So we'll proceed to reports. First, from our Chief Academic Officer, our Provost, Barbara.
Great,
You're
thank
on.
you. Michelle, if we could have the slides. Good afternoon, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity to update this committee on recent ongoing events that are going on within academic affairs. I do want to start off with informing the committee that the university is actively monitoring developments at the federal level and working diligently to understand and communicate the impact of recent executive orders on our community. Our government relations team is engaging our congressional delegation, federal agencies, the administration, and members of Congress in Washington, D.C. And the university is also a member of the Association of Public and Land Grant Universities, known as APLU, and the American Council of Education, known as ACE, which are reaching out to federal government individuals and agencies in terms of providing updates. So amid the uncertainty, one of the things is for certain, and that is that the university is and will remain committed to our foundational values and to our vital teaching and research mission as a land and sea grant public research university. So a couple of things in the midst of some of the transitions that have recently happened. We have continued to stay on course with some of our activities here that I want to highlight today. Here is a quick summary of some of the events that I want to share with you. We go to the next slide. Right out of the gate, we have last month a very successful academic summit. It was entitled AI at URI 2.0. and the event built on last year's summit, which was also on AI. And this year, the event focused more on practical applications and featured many of the faculty who are actually experts on AI within their fields and are actively using AI in their scholarship as well as in the classroom. The key presentations featured Dr. Vance Ricks. He's from Northeastern University, and he provided a very engaging and thought-provoking presentation titled Courage, AI Systems and Troubles We Cannot Avoid. And AI is relevant to many roles across the university, and the Summit Organizing Committee made a point to open it up, certainly the afternoon sessions, to unlocking AI tools in the workplace and efficiency to all URI staff as well. So we are very excited about this. The recording of that session is available on the Provost website, should anybody be interested. Next slide, please. I do want to thank the members of the Academic Summit Planning Committee who organized and hosted the event, and a special thank you to Dr. Sue Adams, who's serving as our Interim Vice Provost for Academic and Faculty Initiatives, and also to Dr. Chris Levan, who's Associate Vice Provost for the Office for the Advancement of Teaching and Learning, who co-led the committee. So we're very excited, but it really took a village to pull this off in a very successful way. Moving forward, we've created a specific AI webpage as part of the Office of the Provost website to provide easy access to various AI resources available on campus for our community. We will continue to update it regularly. Next slide, please. We also want to update you on searches. We have 3 leadership searches underway. The searches for the University Librarian and the Dean of our College for Environment and Life Sciences are both being supported by the firm Parrott Labor. And the search committees for the University Librarian reviewed a long list of candidates last week, and we will be holding our first round of virtual interviews in March. And we are very excited about the caliber of the candidates who applied for this position, so that is moving forward very nicely. The search committee for the Dean of Cells will meet later this month to review a long list of candidates, and we hope to have both of these searches done and concluded by the end of the academic year. We also have a search underway for the permanent vice provost for academic and faculty initiatives, and the search committee has held its first round of interviews last week, and we will be inviting finalists to campus later this month. So again, I'd like to thank all the members of these search committees for their time and input. It's been a tremendous amount of time on their part, and I really, truly appreciate their efforts. If we can go to the next slide, please. I am also happy to report that the feasibility study regarding a possible URI College of Medicine is officially underway. Last fall, the university conducted a competitive request for proposals to conduct a feasibility study and economic impact analysis. And as a result of that process, URI has brought on the firm Tripp Umbach. And Tripp Umbach is a national medical education consulting firm and a national leader in economic impact studies for academic medical schools. And they've actively developed and expanded more medical schools over the past 30 years than any other firm in the country. So they've worked with over 100 different MD granting medical schools in 38 regions, completing feasibility studies focused on every aspect of medical school development models. Since 1995, Tripp Umbach has completed national studies measuring the economic impact of all U.S. allopathic medical schools, and they also have extensive experience with osteopathic medical schools as well. Next slide, please. In terms of the timeline, we are looking at an efficient process with Tripp Umbach kickstarting the study last month and submitting their final report. We're anticipating that June of this year. And as detailed on the slide, the feasibility study will include a number of components, certainly a needs assessment analysis, clinical training evaluation, program model feasibility analysis, clearly looking at the financial feasibility assessment, the economic, social, and healthcare impact analysis, as well as the development of a preliminary budget and funding requirements to include in a cost-benefit analysis. So Trip Umbach will also be holding interviews with key stakeholders across the state of Rhode Island, starting with the members of the Special Legislative Commission, and that was established to study Rhode Island's primary care workforce and establishing a state medical school at URI. And the commission, as you may remember, is co-chaired by Senator Pam Lauria, who is a alum of URI, as well as President Parlange. And among other commission members, it includes our own board chair, Margot Cook, Vice Chair Armin Sabatoni, Tom Ryan, myself, and the deans of our colleges of the Health Science, Nursing, and Pharmacy. So we're very excited to see that progress. And we will keep the committee and the board updated as the feasibility moves forward. So exciting. Lastly, this has been a very busy semester. And I wanted to update a couple of other quick initiatives that are underway, so for your awareness. We have our graduate school underwent an external review, and we just received a final report. And this, you may remember, is related to how do we increase our graduate students here at URI, and that's directly related to our strategic plan. And so we were reviewing those recommendations under Dean Brenton DeBoeuf for the graduate school. And then the other one is our Office of Global Initiatives has undertaken a self-study and external review to look at existing services and processes associated with international students, recruitment, success, and retention in our current climate. So we are very excited to have that underway and completed. We're now looking at those recommendations, and that was done under Vice Provost for Global Initiatives, Dr. Kristen Johnson. So we're excited. So next slide, please. We also want to update you and provide the committee information about enrollment. So I just will note here that we are reinstating our RN to BS program in our College of Nursing, and they will begin to enroll students in that program this summer. So we're very excited. That's also a collaboration with CCRI. And as the committee knows, we did not hit our first year out-of-state enrollment targets this year. We believe due in a large part due to the challenges of FAFSA. The good news is that as of right now, families have access to the FAFSA successfully. But I'm going to turn it over to Dean LaBeauty, who's our Associate Vice President for Enrollment Management and Student Success, and he will provide greater details about the enrollment update here today. Dean.
Great. Thank you, Provost Wolf. Good afternoon, everyone. If it's okay, I'd like to provide a little bit more updated data than what you see in front of you. And you'll see that the slide in front is as of 1/24, but we actually just passed our February 1 deadline. So if it's okay, I'm going to give some numbers. First, in terms of first-year applications, I'm pleased to say we have over 27,405 applications. That's just past our February deadline, and that's a 1,060 application gain year over year so far. And that's really exciting during a time when we know we have declining demographics and challenges out there. To give you an example, in-state is down about 80 and out-of-state is up over 1,100 applications. And so we know that there's some challenges on the in-state market. I am pleased to say that we have 964 applications to our talent development program from in-state. I want to remind everyone we have a fantastic in-state talent development program, and I'm pleased to see that we have just under 1,000 applications there. While we're past our February 1 deadline, we do still accept late applications, and I expect we'll get between about 400 or 500 more. And so depending on how we end, it is possible that we went from high 26,000 right to 28,000 by the end of cycle. Great work by a hardworking team, collaboratively across the university to really send that message of URI, across the nation and beyond. In terms of application gains, it's nice to see that we have gains in multiple colleges. You'll see here business, engineering, environmental life sciences, health sciences, and nursing. And I say that because sometimes you'll see application gains that will occur, but only in one college or area. So it's nice to see that we had a robust growth across many areas. We are riding on a lot of great momentum, right? When you think about this, the amazing Schilling Scholarship. We have exciting updates on new housing, our new technology that we're bringing on board, some AI technology for recruitment. Certainly our Wall Street Journal ranking and others was certainly great news in a competitive space. And I'm pleased to say that we're also working a lot on connecting what undergraduates are looking for. They're actually already talking about graduate degrees while they're applying for their first college degree. And so we are doing great partnerships on everything from a 4+1 program. So that's when you actually graduate and then add a +1 year, maybe for instance, an MBA, or new programs like accelerated bachelor's to master's. In 4 or 5 years, you're getting 2 degrees in undergrad and a graduate degree. So really good momentum. And as Provost Wolf said, the FAFSA, lots of good news there in terms of getting our data in early. Our plan, if all goes well, is to award financial aid by the end of this month. And if we're able to do that, that will be several months earlier than last year's challenge. In addition to applications, you should know our deposits are also starting to come in and we're running ahead of pace. And so a lot of good momentum on the enrollment side, on the undergrad side. Next slide, please. Just to look at deposits by college year over year. And again, this is by January 24th, that you can see every college is up year over year. Arts and sciences, business, engineering, health, nursing, pharmacies, you go down. And that 210 number just a couple of days later is already at 310. And so this is the type of day where days matter and really promising gains. Now, I will say that we have done a lot of new things this year. The admissions team is at over 1,000 admission decisions ahead of where we were last year. We released some decisions early. We're doing a lot of things to be as aggressive as we can. And so are these early gains that are just early gains because of process, or is it a great sign that we're going to be having a terrific year? I, of course, am planning for the latter, but wanted you to know that there's a lot of things that we're working on to make this a success. Next slide, please. And then I just wanted to mention at the undergrad and graduate level, URI Online, really our new executive director, Heather Sharp-Smith, is doing terrific work with our colleges. We have new online programs coming on in areas of public health, Doctor of Nursing practice, a new degree completion with arts and sciences. We're doing things in quantum computing programs, bioinformatics, and we're revamping some of our programs with the College of Business. So a lot of great momentum on the online side. And then finally, it's really important to make sure we talk about the graduate school. And you'll see more updates are coming here. I asked grad school, I just got them, so I'm pleased to say that they are up 10% in applications year over year, 1517 versus 1371, which is terrific. And that growth, that accelerated bachelor's to master's, to give you an example, we have over 3,800 admitted students in this potential first year class who want to talk to us about doing a 4+1 or accelerated bachelor's to master's program. So last year was a challenge. We knew FAFSA really impacted in a lot of ways, but we have a lot of great momentum at the undergrad, graduate, and online levels. And that is my update, Provost Wolf.
Thank you. Happy to answer any questions that people may have, either for me or for Dean.
Yeah, thanks, Barbara. I can't see everybody on the screen, so please, members of the committee, speak up. I have a couple if they're not asked by someone else. Questions, anybody?
Hi, Monica Garnes.
Hi,
Right.
Monica.
Thank you, Provost Wolf and Dean Labuti. So congratulations, obviously, on the great results of students coming. I just had a couple of questions. Do you have any visibility why you think the decline is happening in in-state students, while that's progressing? And then when I think about the students that were impacted and needed FAFSA, they needed the financial aid and may not have enrolled. Do we know what happened to those students? Are you seeing them applying now, a year later? Or I just worry about, people that needed aid didn't get it, various colleges and universities? Like, are we seeing those folks get back into school or find other avenues to get an education?
No, great question, Dean. I know you know all the nitty gritty, so go ahead.
So in state, one is the population of high school graduates is not increasing in Rhode Island. So there is a certain challenge there. And we did have a student loss in Rhode Island with respect to COVID. And so Rhode Island only has about 10,000 high school graduates a year. I will say that the Hope and Promise programs have a direct impact on our applications and our yields. The national scorecard done by the federal government shows that the greatest likelihood of graduating success, number one, URI. Number two, Rhode Island College by many, many points below. And the distant third likelihood is the community college with a graduation rate of about 22%. We're over 70%. Number two is earnings potential. Our earnings potential, according to the scorecard, is over 76,000 a year versus about 56 for Rhode Island College. So what's happening is these state programs are moving people to places because of the word free, but you're actually moving people away from higher earnings, higher wages, and in our case, over 50 majors that they do not offer at those other institutions. So part of it is demographics, but the two programs have a direct draw. In fact, I think I might have mentioned this before, but if not, I would like to stay on my soapbox and say over 420 students that we admitted from Rhode Island turned us down and went to CCRI or RIC, and many of them changed their majors to do so, to find a major that they have there because the one we have here is not offered there. And so Monica, there. Now let's go to the next step. That is still happening also in New York, in New Jersey, in Massachusetts, where those states are trying to drive people there. In terms of people who struggled with the FAFSA, I was just at a conference a couple of months ago, and they showed a group of folks that struggled with the FAFSA and were in this like middle group that actually ended up going to school, but ended up changing where they planned on going. So I want to go to a 4-year school, but I'm going to enroll in a 2-year institution, or gee, I'm going to enroll in one of these free programs because at least the free program will help me. So it was not just a missing of students, but it was also people changing their trajectory. And it was interesting to look at some of the populations that enrolled in different institutions than they normally would have based on the times. We're not seeing a growth in applications of people waiting. We're actually seeing that there were some folks that delayed or changed their 4 to 2 year or thinking one school to another based on that. And that's based on, again, data reported as well as chatting with colleagues throughout New England and Mid-Atlantic. So I hope those are helpful answers.
Yes, thank you.
Dave, can I just add to that?
Dave?
Add to that.
Go ahead, Dave. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
I was on a call yesterday with Risk and Compliance Committee, and they were talking about the big cliff that's going to fall off, I think, in 2025. And I think President Pralange had a great comment, which was, we've been dealing with that for 8 years in Rhode Island because the enrollment's been going down aggressively. And, they were quoting a lot of facts, and I was thinking in my head, like, we've had such great success. How do you think about that big cliff coming around the country? Is that going to affect us like everyone else is bracing for, or what's your thoughts on that going forward?
So we've been following this for over 8 years, and we're not waiting for the cliff to happen. So I'll give you some practical examples. Number one is we put in a strategic initiative to bring on 2 admission reps that were actually working well beyond New England and Mid-Atlantic and beyond. That group is helping to contribute to reaching new people that were never part of the Rhode Island marketplace. And that's why you're seeing such terrific gains in our application, is because we're pushing the envelope. So we know what's happening and we're pushing out. In addition, you'll be hearing soon about some new AI technology we're bringing in so that we're able to reach people throughout the US and the world in multiple languages at their time and place that they would like. And President Parlange, Provost Wolf, and others have seen this, and it will knock your socks off when you see what we're about 4 to 5 weeks away from doing. So as that happens, what I'm trying to do is make sure that URI's presence is well beyond New England and Mid-Atlantic, but beyond. And the work that Dr. Johnson's doing on global is very exciting as well. Our challenge is not just growth in application, so it's yield. We have to get better at yielding students, and especially high achieving students. And so you're going to see me focus, while I'm excited about the application pool, I need the yield. And what we need to do is really show that wonderful momentum we have of why top achieving students want to come to the University of Rhode Island. And so we're watching the cliff, we're trying to push into new markets, and we're doing that very successfully. But that final piece is turning on what we can do. And when I mean we, that includes the board, to really make this the right destination as that cliff is coming. So kind of a multi-pronged answer, but notice I went at it from what we're doing, what's coming, but also that focus on yield, which is more powerful than ever on your ability to meet or exceed targets.
Thank you.
All right, Dean, would you elaborate a bit on those data? Right now, what would you project our admit rate to be relative to the number of applicants we have? And then where are we with yield, with conversion rates at present?
So if it's okay, I prefer to answer this in general terms and then have a conversation that I can get into much more segmentation. We admit close to 70% of our applications who apply in Rhode Island. That is higher. We have a mission to the state of Rhode Island, and we work very hard to admit every Rhode Islander. If not, we have a great pathway through the community college. Our yield rates vary greatly by in-state versus out-of-state, by certain programs like nursing versus an arts and sciences that has more competitors. And so we monitor yield rates by probably dozens upon categories. We need to get better at out-of-state yield. We need to make sure that we have housing and other attributes that help support students coming to Rhode Island and being with us for their journey. And I have to say that 4+1 accelerated bachelor's to master's is really something we learned is a great space for us to be in based on the competitors you saw last time. I think the last time I presented that. So we have work to do on the yield side. And then the admit side, we approach it differently based on programs like talent development, Rhode Island versus the overall ecosystem of the pool. And again, I would be happy to have more detailed discussions about this because I could talk about it for hours, obviously. So I hope that's helpful in general.
No, it is. I think it is. And the cliff that David mentioned is affecting pretty much all of higher ed. So, but you can attribute the increases in applications that we had this year to the ability to push out into new markets. Are we, in other words, that of the increase that you're suggesting, what portion of that is in what you would call a new market? Do you know yet?
Yes, so we are starting to see that we're seeing great gains in Pennsylvania, Maryland, Northern Virginia, and others. We've talked about those markets. We're actually seeing some good growth happening down in the Atlanta area, North Carolina as well. There's some things happening in Texas and others. We have not done what's called a full source analysis. We're only at February 5th. And so I'll be able to source all the ways that we learned of an application from our great website and the work that Matt McDonald's group is doing, from some of our products that we're utilizing and others. So as we look at the source data, that does take a while to unfold, but I'm really pleased at what I'm seeing out of areas that were not normal areas of strength. Like I said, that Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, and then pushing down. We're even seeing some decent work in California. California is a trickier market, which is why I think this AI tool will be helpful as we go into some of that and beyond. But we will do a complete source analysis to figure out sometimes the interlocking way that, for instance, maybe one of our marketing campaigns connected with one of our new staff members. So it's got a lot of intricacies. But I will say that the data are showing that we're pushing well beyond where URI used to be 5 or 6 years ago. And that's our goal.
Great. Okay, that's very helpful. The complete source analysis, I think, will be very instructive for us. And then finally, my questions anyway. The Rhode Island Scholarship Program issue has been persistent. We talk about it just about every meeting. the statistics that you quoted regarding choice of major and earning potential. I know it's awkward to begin marketing based on those, at least in terms of the in-state market, because it does put brother and sister institutions into a less favorable light. But how free do you feel in reaching out to people using those performance data?
So I will start, and I know there might be some others that want to jump in. I am free as can be right now. Rhode Islanders deserve access to choose where they would like to go, to have their destiny determined by what they would like to do, with the ability to have the greatest likelihood of success. And this is not an attack on those other schools, but Rhode Islanders deserve that opportunity. And if we want to improve people's income, likelihood of success, and degree completion, we have to have these honest conversations. No one has answered yet what is the cost of a promised graduate with all the folks that drop out, right? What is the cost of not having this happen? So to me, that's something we're aggressively doing, and I've been actively involved. I want to thank, the president has done a lot of work on this. President Pralanj, I don't know if there's anything you'd like to add, but there's a lot of work we're doing to try to be positive, utilizing data that says, hold on a second here, this isn't making sense right now. When you think about the plan of prosperity, having family incomes go up $20,000, meeting the workforce needs of the future. And so I feel free, and I'm hoping someone else might want to add or subtract on that.
Okay. Mark, did you want to say anything? I'm happy with that response. I mean, it sounds like you don't feel constrained.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything that Dean just said. I think it's, look, this is a fantastic university in so many different ways, URI. We offer lots of programs that are unique, but even if one were to say, you have programs that can be taken elsewhere, it's really the mix. Our students double and triple major across fields. That's why we do have, very vibrant programs in the languages and the humanities and the social sciences. But it's very clear that, we do support our students and that they do, graduate at, and of course, obviously, that's one of our KPIs with our strategic plan to improve that all the time. But it's also clear that, it is a vision for the state to increase the income of the citizens of Rhode Island. The URI students are the new Rhode Islanders, even those that come from out of state. So many of them do stay here and make their lives here. So, I just back up everything that Dean just said. I think it's very important. Barb, I don't know if there's.
Yeah, no, I would concur, and I would just reiterate that choice is very important. And again, for Rhode Islanders to have access to their flagship university.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for Barb or Dean or on these items?
This is Chris. This isn't a so much. I just want to mention that the meeting I'm going to at 3 is about yield and how we can, planning our welcome days and doing new things. And so this is sort of trickling down to the faculty in ways that it hasn't so much in the past. So we're doing well to try to bring them in.
Thanks, Chris. All right. Well, thank you, Barbara. More to come, obviously. I'd now move to the report of our Chief Research Officer. Bethany, you ready to go?
I am ready to go, and I don't have a big slide deck prepared for this meeting, but just a couple of updates. One is that our researchers are continuing to do amazing work, and we're on target to hit our KPI, 10-year KPI of 200 million in that time, and we're actually ahead of that curve in terms of where we are. And the mid-year statistics, when our office looked at them, is if you average the previous few years, we're about $5 million up in grant monies at the mid-year point at the end of FY, kind of mid-year through FY25, and that corresponds to about 1.2 million in increased indirect costs. So the health of our research in terms of the work that our faculty and researchers are doing is ahead of the curve. Obviously, there's concerns given what's going on with our federal landscape after the end of January, but at that mid-year point, our research was looking incredibly strong.
Thank you. Questions for Bethany? Yeah, Mark.
If I can, Bethany, it was nice, I guess about 10 days ago that two of our assistant professors, one in psychology and one in engineering, received a presidential early career awards. So that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for jumping in
Well,
with
that's-
that reminder, Mark.
Yeah, that's great. Mark or Bethany, you want to remind the committee the significance of that award?
Yeah, these are awards that are based on NSF early career awards, and then they're cultivated from that group of very select, very prestigious early career awards that are presidential nominees. So this was under President Biden's administration that our two faculty members were picked in that cohort, and it's pretty unusual to have two from the same university. We're incredibly proud of them.
No, it is. I mean, it's a remarkable recognition to begin with, but to have two colleagues getting it is really extraordinary. So congratulations to them and to everybody who supported them in that. All right, any other questions for Bethany? All right, if not, then we have to move on now to our action items. There are 4. All our recommendations coming from our grad council and approved by faculty and by the president. Barbara, you want to give us a bit of a background maybe on each, and then we'll vote separately?
Sure. The first is from the College of Education, and it's for a Master's of Arts, Educational Leadership and Policy. And this is a hybrid design. Graduates will be eligible for an initial PK through 12 building level administrator certificate in Rhode Island, and the Rhode Island Department of Education has specific certification requirements for school leadership roles, which this program is uniquely designed to meet. So that's one. We have another from the College of Business. It is a Bachelor of Arts Business Studies program, and this particular degree or program would be competency-based interdisciplinary degree that provides students with core business skills that can be applied in a range of areas. And this program will be accredited by the Association to Advanced Collegiate Schools of Business. We also have another from the College of Health Sciences, and this is for a Master's of Public Health program. And this is again an interdisciplinary program, provides students with graduate level academic and applied training for non-clinical careers in public health. And for those who may not be aware, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, jobs in public health are expected to grow between 5 and 11% in the next 10 years. So there's certainly a market there. And the MPH will be seeking accreditation by the Council for Education on Public Health. And then the last is from College of Health Sciences, College of Business, Masters of Science and Management. And this is what we know as a MSM, and it allows students to develop professional skills to become a more effective and innovative leader who can make data-informed decisions and have strategic expertise in business integration. And this too will be accredited by the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business.
Okay, thank you, Barbara. So I will read 4 separate motions. I'll be asking for motions on each and a voice vote for each. First, may I have a motion that the committee recommend that the board approve legislation recommended by the Faculty Senate and the President, providing a new degree opportunity, Master of Arts, Education Leadership and Policy program, presented in the enclosure.
David Moderano, so move.
Charlie Fogarty,
Thank you,
second.
David. Okay, we have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Right, hearing none, I'll ask for a voice vote. All in favor, please say yes. Yes.
Yeah.
All opposed, no. Any abstentions? All right, the motion carries unanimously. Second, may I have a motion that the committee recommend the board approve legislation recommended by the Faculty Senate and the President for a new degree opportunity, Bachelor of Arts, Business Studies program as presented in the enclosure.
Monica Garn,
Joseph
so moved.
Joseph Matthews, second.
Thank you, Monica and Joe. I'll ask for a voice vote now, I'm sorry, first, a discussion on the motion. All right, hearing none, I'll ask for a voice vote. All in favor, please say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All opposed, please say no. Any abstentions? The motion's approved unanimously. Third, may I have a motion that the committee recommend that the board approve legislation recommended by the Faculty Senate and the President for a new degree opportunity, Master of Public Health program as presented in the enclosure.
Motion to approve, Maria Ducharme.
Thank you.
Charlie Fogarty,
David Monroe.
second.
That's right.
All right. Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll ask all of those who approve to say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Any abstentions? The motion is approved unanimously. And the fourth, may I have a motion that the committee recommend that the Board of Trustees approve legislation recommended by the Faculty Senate and the President for a new degree opportunity, Master of Science in Management, as presented in the enclosure.
Monica Garn, so moved.
Thank you, Monica. A second, please.
Maria Ducharme, second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll ask for a voice vote. All in favor, please say yes.
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 All opposed, no. Any abstentions? That motion carries unanimously as well. All right, the next item on our agenda is an executive session. May I have a motion that the committee convene into executive session pursuant to Rhode Island General Legislation 42465A2 for discussion regarding potential litigation, and Rhode Island General Legislation 42658A7 related to the question of investment of public funds where premature disclosure would adversely affect the public interest.
Joseph Matthews, so moved.
Thank you, Joe. Is there a second?
Charlie Fogarty, second.
Thank you. Any discussion on the motion? I'll ask for a voice vote. All in favor, please say yes.
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 All opposed, no. Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries unanimously. Motion is approved. Committee will now convene into executive session for the reasons specified. It is anticipated that our executive session will last approximately 30 minutes, after which the committee will reconvene into open session. The live stream will be paused during the executive session and will resume once the executive session is ended and the committee reconvenes into open session. For all those participating via WebEx, please confirm by saying yes that no other person is present and are able to hear the discussion at a remote location.
Yes.
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 Yes. If you don't move automatically into a breakout session, join the session when you're prompted to do so on your screen by clicking the Join Now button. Attendees not participating in the executive session will be moved to a waiting room.
We are now back in open session. Thank you. Neil, just a quick reminder to unmute.
I forgot to unmute, of course.
No, that's okay.
All right, the committee, okay, we're now convened in open session. The first order of business in our open session is a motion to seal the executive session minutes. May I have a motion that the minutes of the committee's executive session be sealed?
Monica
Joseph
Garnes.
Matthews, so moved.
Okay.
Monica Garnes,
is it-
second.
Thank you, Monica. Any discussion of the motion? Okay, being no discussion, I'll ask for a voice vote. All in favor, please say yes. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Any abstentions? That motion is approved unanimously. The next item on the agenda is a motion to adjourn. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Charlie Fogarty,
David.
so moved.
David Monterano, second.
All right, you had me worried there for a minute, okay? Okay, ask for a voice vote. All in favor, please say
Yes.
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 All opposed, no. Any abstentions? The motion to adjourn is approved unanimously. The next URI Board of Trustees Academic Affairs and Research Committee meeting is scheduled for April 16, 2025.